Hey guys, it's Krista here. Welcome to our weekly Life Coach Gems. I just want to say I did something really stupid last night and I left my computer out on my back deck and it rained all night long. So I'm like keeping my fingers crossed that my MacBook is going to be okay. I have desiccant packets all around it right now and I'm going to put it in rice later, but so far everything's looking okay. But this MacBook is my life and it's making me realize how grateful I am for it and how much I depend on it every day for to work with clients and my students and to do my work. So, okay. With that being said, so for our theme for this week is, well, so let me give you the background story, is I've been manifesting a new relationship and a new situation for my family, and I could do a whole nother live on how I've been manifesting that. Actually, I did a podcast episode recently called Why I Got Back Together with My Ex. And so my home situation has been changing really fast. And as a result, my son, I shared him 50% of the time with his father, and we did shared custody. And now they're both moving back in full time. So I'm like starting to read all the parenting books again to, I don't know why I feel like I need parenting books, but I also just really enjoy learning how to um, be there for my child, my 5-year-old son Lincoln, and be the best mom I can be there for him, help him with his emotional regulation. And I really love that a lot of these books to help kids can also help adults, and a lot of have life coaching principles and theories in them as well too. So a book that came highly recommended to me from a friend is called Raising Good Humans, and I was just a couple pages in the other day. I always download the samples on Kindle first. And I was like, oh, this book's going to be good. I can already tell. And within the first couple of pages, they ask this question. So it says, what do you want for your kids? And are you practicing that in your own life? And when I read that, it was like a soccer punch to my stomach. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, there's always so many things that we want for our kids in terms of helping them to create their best life and be the best version of themselves and to grow up to be, great humans, great adults. And we put so much our outward attention and focus on wanting to help others. But then what I've been learning is 80% of learning is done through modeling. So what that means is your children are going to be watching you. They're going to be watching the way you take care of yourself, the things you say, the way you eat, the way you handle crisis and conflict, the way you treat other humans, and they are going to be modeling your behavior. So most of the time, people don't remember what you say, but they remember what you do and the way you make them feel. So that was kind of like a little wake up call for me there. And I was like, okay, well, I feel like we can also really apply this to working with our coaching clients as well. And I do so I've been a professional coach for 9 years and working to mentor new life coaches for the past 9 years as well too. And I've talked with hundreds to thousands of coaches. And when I'm interviewing them to see if they're a good fit for our Born to Coach Training Academy, I always say, what is driving you to become a professional life coach at this time? And 99% of the time, the answer is like, I really enjoy helping people. And I want to help people to live and have their best life. And so I think that is such a beautiful intention. But one of the most powerful ways that we can help people to do that is to look at ourselves and to look at how we are treating ourselves and how we are creating our own best life. And then what's going to happen is our potential clients are who are going to be following us online, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but the average that when someone finds you online, it can take up to a year or longer before they decide to work with you and hire you and invest in your services. So I don't know if you guys knew that. We just enrolled a new coach last week for Born to Coach Training Academy, and she said she's been following me for 3 years before she decided that she was ready to join our program. And so I think that's wonderful and that's great. And so what's going to happen and I do this with the coaches that I hire as well too. And the statistic applies to me. Usually before I work with a coach intimately, I follow her. Well, it's all been women. I guess it could be men too, but it's all been women so far. But I find them online and I like join all their free workshops and I read all their content and download all their freebies and I sign up for their newsletter. And I'm really paying attention to how they talk and I'm feeling their energy and I'm listening for, are they working with a coach as well too? Because I really want to work with someone who walks their walk and who embodies the definition of coaching. Right. And then after I'm working with a coach, I'm also practicing and paying attention to how they're talking to me and how they're treating me and how they're leading our sessions. And I've been working with a coach for a year and a half now, and she's had some hard situations come up in her business, which we all do. And I was watching how she was navigating those difficult situations with such grace and from such a place of emotional regulation. And it taught me a lot about how I want to show up in those tough times in business as well too. And so again, it just goes back to that fact that 80% of our learning is done from modeling. So I want you guys to think about this question today, and I asked this to my coach training students yesterday as well, is, what do you want for your clients? So think about that. Do you want them to, you know, uh, live every day, wake up being happy and fulfilled and feeling peaceful and calm? And, you know, um, do you want for your clients, do you want them to make as much money as they can in their businesses? Or do you want them to be able to travel the world? Or do you want them to be in healthy relationships with their partners? So just kind of think, yeah, like what are those things that I really desire to see for my clients? And then how am I practicing that in my own life? Okay. And then that just puts you so much more in alignment with the clients that you're going to attract and embodying the type of coach that you want to become for your clients. And it's kind of like that saying, we need to put our own oxygen mask on first before we can help others. So the same thing here, the things that we want to help other people with, we get to help ourselves with that first, or continue to help ourselves doing that while we're working with our clients as well too. Okay, so I hope that got your wheels turning. So I want you guys to think about today, what do you want for your clients? And are you practicing those things in your own life? Okay, if you want to respond back to this email and let me know the answer to this question, I would love to receive a personal email from whoever's watching this. That would be amazing. That would make my day. And then want to give you guys some updates of events that we have coming up. So our first one in 2 weeks is going to be our Born to Coach Mastermind and Info session. Let me just double check the dates real fast. Yes, okay, so it is on Wednesday, July 16th from 1 to 2 p.m. And so this is going to be really good for a coach who has already gone through coach training and is certified, has their practice set up, you have paying clients, and you're ready to go to that next level in your coaching business. So maybe you're having like consistent 2K months and you want to go to 5K months or 10K months. Or maybe you have a full-time day job, you're ready to quit that day job, you want to go full-time with your coaching business and you want some support doing that. Or maybe you have a jam-packed schedule and your work-life balance is all out of whack right now between working your coaching business and then doing other commitments. So you want to learn how to build your team and delegate more so you can stay more in your zone of genius, have more of a spacious schedule, and really just have so much fun, enjoy running your business every day and not doing it from a place of having like a maxed booked out schedule. So in that info session, you're going to learn more about how our mastermind works, how we support our coaches to go to 6 figures and beyond and hit all their goals. And then we have a retreat with that as well. We're going to be opening up 3 spots for the retreat. It's going to be at my home in St. Louis. And that retreat is automatically included in the mastermind. But if you don't want to join the mastermind, just the retreat, you can learn more about the retreat as well. So it's a retreat for life coaches who are building their businesses. And we have so many cool activities planned. So we'll talk more about that in the info session. So you can sign up for that below the video. And then our next event is our Born to Coach Training Academy training session and live coaching demo. So this is the following week on Wednesday, July 23rd at 1 p.m. Central. And what we're going to be doing is a monthly training topic in there. So we're going to be talking all about the steps needed to earn your ICF credentials and preparing for your ICF exam. So this is really good for if you haven't enrolled in coach training yet and you kind of just want to know what does that process look like. So that way, when you do go through coach training and maybe you go through ours, you kind of know more of what to expect and what that process looks like and getting ready to apply for your ICF credentials and the exam that comes along with that. Or maybe you're enrolled in another coach training program and maybe they don't have a lot of good prep work in there and that feels a little incomplete and missing. And so you can come learn from us. And I just recently passed the new ICF exam to get my MCC credentials that happened in March. So everything is very relevant and fresh in my mind right now. And then after that, we'll do a live coaching demo with a volunteer. So that way you can really hear and see and feel what professional coaching looks like. And then get a understanding for my vibe and teaching style that we do in the Born to Coach Training Academy. And then if you've been thinking about joining the Born to Coach Training Academy, we'll offer a special deal right after that to incentivize you to want to join and sign up with us and train to become a professional coach. So, all right, guys, that is it for our Life Coach Gems this week. I hope you really enjoy receiving these videos and these topics. If there's ever a topic or a question you want me to answer in these videos, just respond back to this email and let me know. I'd be more than happy to include that in the content in future videos. All right, have a great week. Bye.